Okay, so unless you've been living under a rock, you're probably aware that the Federal Reserve has been increasing interest rates over the past year, and interest rates are now at a 17-year high, almost at 5%. Now with the benchmark borrowing rate going up, this means that it's more expensive to have a mortgage as you have a higher interest rate. It also costs more to have a car loan or carry over a credit card balance as the interest rates on all those things also go up with the benchmark increase from the Federal Reserve. Now, although it might be a little bit more expensive to buy a house now than it was a year ago, there are some good things about the interest rates going up, especially when it comes to savings accounts. I don't know about you guys, but I know for myself, I've definitely disregarded savings accounts over the last few years as a terrible waste of money for the simple fact that inflation has been so high over the last few years that parking your money in a savings account where it's only earning, 0.01% every year is effectively losing money because of the opportunity cost that money could be making over time by putting it somewhere else in an investment vehicle. Now that the market has shifted significantly from what it was in 2021 and early back in 2020, I would say it's definitely a great opportunity, especially if you need to park your money in the interim before you make your next investment decision, to have it in a high yield savings account so that you're earning interest on that money when it's parked away in the bank. Now, I just want to say before we get into this list that I generally wouldn't recommend putting all your money into a savings account and just letting it sit, because there are other investment vehicles that, generally speaking, even if you are a risk-averse individual, that you can make money at a reasonable rate while maintaining a reasonable risk portfolio. I'd say this list is a good jumping off point in terms of a good place to park your money, once again, in the interim between when you make investment decisions, so that your money's not just sitting around at a 0.01% earning capacity where you could literally have the same amount of money if you just kept it under your bed at night. Now, the importance of picking a high yield savings account is critical because there's so many different options out there for savings accounts where you can put your money into, but the top earning savings accounts usually pay up to 15 or 20 times more than the national average rate for savings accounts that otherwise would only give you, a cent on your dollar. Now, the reason I'm even putting this list together in the first place is I think it's a total waste of money to keep your money in a checking account, especially if you have a large sum of money there that could otherwise be earning interest in a savings account situation. And the beauty of having a savings account is, generally speaking, there's not a penalty for removing your money in between accounts or transferring it, usually up to a limit of about 6 times per month. Now, the way I'm gonna rank this list is by highest interest rate yield first. And I'm not going to include banking institutions that have maintenance fees, transfer fees, or a monthly minimum balance, just because I think there's so many good options out there and you shouldn't have to deal with a bank that has those extra fees. So the absolute best rate you can earn right now with a nationally available savings account, which is with My Savings Direct, which is currently at 4.35%. Now, this annual percentage rate can always change, but this is currently the best rate available. And currently this account has no fees in terms of transfers, overdrafts, or maintenance fees. This 4.35% APY rate is actually 14 times the FDIC's national average for savings accounts right now of 0.3% APY. The next one on this list is going to be Upgrade, which is an online banking service that has its deposits held at Cross River Bank, which is a member of the FDIC, which means that deposits are insured up to $250,000. I think it goes without saying that I'm not going to put a non-FDIC insured bank on this list, because you want to make sure that your deposits are in a safe place and that they're insured at least up to the minimum of $250,000 by the FDIC. So Upgrade's Premier Savings Account is currently at a 4.13% annual percentage yield, which you'll see here is 13 times the national average on at least $1,000 or more, which is the same situation as My Savings Direct, which requires a $1,000 deposit to start. Upgrade also has no monthly account fees or transfer fees, and obviously allows you to make online transfers to and from other banks. So the next one on this list is UFB Direct, which has a 4.11% interest rate right now, and it's actually the first one on this list that has a $0 minimum deposit to open an account. As with the other ones, there's no maintenance fees, transfer fees, or anything like that. And this one also is indeed FDIC insured. So those first three options are above a 4% interest rate right now, and I would say they're definitely good options, especially if you have money that you're trying to deposit up to a limit of $250,000 that's insured by FDIC. Now, for this next one with a 3.75% interest rate, it's actually a cash management account, so it's a little bit different from a savings account, and I'll explain why. While generally speaking, savings accounts limit your withdrawals to 6 times per month, cash management accounts generally don't have a limit on that or have a much higher limit, so you're able to move your money in and out of the account much more easily. That being said, specifically for Betterment, we also have a $1 million of insurance that's backed by FDIC, which is 4 times the standard amount that you get for $250,000 with most standard banks. As with the other options, there's also $0 in annual fees and no minimum balance as with the other banks. Once again, I do think it's useful to have an account that has unlimited withdrawals just like a checking account would, except this one operates in a different way in that you get a much higher interest rate, so you're earning a little bit of money along the way. If you're a high roller and you have up to $1 million to put in a savings account right now, I'd say this is definitely your best bet. In terms of the options we've listed so far, just because of the insurance maximum up to $1 million. You wanna make sure your money's safe, especially when you have that much of it, right? So our remaining 3 banks in this list are gonna be major institutions that I would say most people are are aware of. And if you're a little bit hesitant into putting your money into a bank account that you've never heard of before, I would say these remaining 3 are definitely great options in terms of major banking institutions that you might already have a checking account with yourself. So the 5th one is going to be Citi's Accelerate Savings Account, which is currently offering 3.4% per year. While this is a good rate and there's no minimum deposit required, I do have to mention that you have to keep a Citi Accelerate Savings Account in addition to a checking account in the Citi Access account package if you don't have a minimum balance of $500 in this account at all times. If you have over $500 in this account, then no problem. You don't have to worry about any fees. But to avoid any fees, just keep $500 in there and you should be all good. Our next one on this list is going to be the one that I actually have my money in, which is Capital One. I have a number of different other Capital One products, including their checkings account, the 360 stuff, as well as their Venture Rewards card. And the difference here is that Capital One has this performance savings account that you might not be aware of if you had a Capital One savings account in the past. Now their current interest rate is at 3.3%, which is a great rate, especially compared to their traditional savings account, which I accidentally had my money parked in at only a 0.3% APY. If you already bank with Capital One especially, I would highly recommend this because their ecosystem is really easy to use, simple UI, and transferring the money between accounts literally takes a second. All you have to do is hit the button and your money should be available instantly. Now the last one on this list is going to be the Discover Online Savings Account. And if you've gotten this far in the video, I'm going to say there's a little reward in there for you guys if you stuck around. Right now, the interest rate on the Discover Online Savings Account is 3.3%, which matches what Capital One's is. But there's also an offer going on right now where you can earn up to $200 for depositing into your Discover Online Savings Account. In addition to this bonus, there's also 0 monthly fees, no minimum opening deposit. But if you do want to get this $200 bonus, what you need to do is deposit at least $25,000 within 30 days of the account opening date. They also have a $150 bonus if you deposit at least $15,000 within 30 days of the account opening date. Since there's no fees to keep this account open, there's no minimum balance, I would say it's a no-brainer to just throw that money in there and get that $200 bonus, and then withdraw the money after that if you don't plan on using it in the future. For me personally, I have a Discover credit card, so it makes a little bit of sense to have some other products in the Discover ecosystem. But like I said, if you do want that bonus of $150 or $200, all you have to do is make those minimum deposits, and you should see that bonus reflected in your account. So that about rounds out this list. Again, this isn't a sponsored video, so none of these banks I'm getting paid to talk about or anything like that. These are just literally options that I found that have the highest interest rates. So if you guys have money laying around, especially in a savings account that has a much lower yield, I would highly recommend moving your money into a spot that if you haven't decided on what investment vehicle you want to put it in yet, it's a great place to have your money in the interim so you earn some interest on that uninvested cash. I do just want to reiterate that these interest rates can change at any time, and whether the rates go up or down are largely affected by the Federal Reserve. And so generally speaking, these rates should be the same for a few weeks or a few months. So I hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like down below, comment if you guys have any questions. And as always, I do my best to answer. I'm here to help you guys out. And so if you have any questions, I will definitely try and answer in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.